Hello, this is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a friend. This is Margaret Lynch. She's actually, before I do the whole introduction and bio and all that kind of stuff, Margaret is literally one of my favorite people on the planet. She's one of the most genuine people I know. She is one of the most fun people I know. When the two of us are together, we just have a hoot and holler, a good time, and I just love her. So I love you, Margaret. So let me do the official bio kind of thing, and so that everybody knows like what you're up to. But she's literally become one of my dearest friends. So not only do I love her, the Wall Street Journal calls her the Wealth Manifestation Authority. That's pretty impressive. She has X-ray vision. This is so absolutely true because she's done this to me several times in several occasions. But she has X-ray vision for seeing the fears and limiting beliefs that keep success-minded people limited in their money and personal power. And as an accomplished success coach, best-selling author, and emotional freedom technique, so you know of tapping, expert, Margaret delivers high-impact transformation that clears the inner blocks to wealth and success and creates the on-fire enthusiasm and charisma that's key to skyrocketing wealth. So after 18 years in the engineering management and winning top sales awards at Fortune 500 companies, she left corporate America to live her passion. And in less than 4 years, it's very impressive what she has done as an entrepreneur. Margaret created a multi-million-dollar business using exact techniques she teaches. And she brings her transformational work to thousands of people from all over the world to her wildly popular coaching programs, live events, online videos. She has like over 13,000 YouTube subscribers. And through her newsletter, which goes out to 160,000 raving, loving her fans that just want her information every single month. Margaret is a best-selling author of the highly acclaimed book Tapping Into Wealth and Tapping Into Wealth Coach Certification Program, and trains and certifies hundreds of coaches each year following her method. So I could go on and on. You can visit her at margaretmlynch.com. We'll have a link under the video so you can go see Margaret. But what's up, sister?
A lot of things. So many things. Yeah, so my book is Tapping Into Wealth. It's coming out in paperback, which is really exciting from the publisher. Penguin Books is putting out the paperback. So I'm very excited to talk about that today. And I thought we could talk a little bit about, there's such an intersection in our work, you know what I mean? And what you teach and what I teach and how, I was just in the Huffington Post. I just was honored to be quoted in an article in the Huffington Post about tapping. And the person who wrote the article, people who write about tapping usually write in such a ridiculous fashion. They're like, what is it? Does it work? Who knows? And they were talking about how Margaret thinks you can manifest money with tapping. And that kind of makes me crazy because obviously you can't tap and money manifest. But I'd love to talk about, when we are trying to manifest things like money, what gets in the way and what stops us and allows us to use a tool like tapping as part of the process with law of attraction to manifest money. Exactly. Because we don't go like this or visualize and then boom, money falls from the sky.
Right.
Exactly. And it's just, it's an exciting time to talk about it because if we don't start changing the conversation, there's a lot of people who are just finding out about law of attraction and just finding about tapping, and they seem to get a skewed view. So I'm on my high horse about that.
I like it. I'm going to be on there with you. Let me just offer perspective to everybody that's watching is that, law of attraction is working all the time. It's a universal law. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, literally vibrationally, what you're sending out, it's coming back to you. When you're in a space of resistance about money, and we're just going to talk about money today as it relates to tapping, law of attraction, all that kind of stuff. When you have a block, you just can't seem to attract more money. You seem to spend more than you have. You find yourself in debt all the time. You can't seem to, get enough money to invest. You can't have enough money to create the life that you want, take the vacations that you want. Whatever is centered around this thing called money, and there's any type of resistance, there's the can't, there's the belief that you're never going to be able to make it, or, any of that resistance, that contraction. That's where a tool, and I love how you said that, EFT, so tapping, is a tool. It's a tool to help you release and change the neural pathways, to help you change and create new ways of thinking and believing so that you can literally shift the contraction into an expansion. And if you're in that allowing space, working with law of allowing, that's when things can actually come to you. Not magically by money dropping on your head, but when you're doing the things that you're doing, avenues start to open up. Situations, circumstances, people will come into your life that will then allow you to make the changes to then change your money situation. Can I get an amen? What?
Hell yeah, sister. Yeah, and sometimes money does fall on, every once in a while, right? Something unexpected happens. Especially when people start using law of attraction, they're like, oh my God, a check came in the mail. But if you want to consistently create money, then it requires you, your brilliance, your energy, your action, your courage, your charisma, depending on how much money you want to make, right? And that's where I think it's so interesting to look at this little tool called tapping, because what I found, and I talk a lot about in the book, is that there is such a mind-body connection with money that goes beyond our thinking and really hits us in the nervous system. And I think it's, it's so easy to people to connect to the idea that when we think about money or the bills or scarcity, which sometimes gets triggered by thinking about money or the bills, we feel that. Like, it's not just a thought. Like, we'll get anxiety. When I ask women to start charging more in their business, they will feel a wall of shame come up. I'm not good enough, fear, how are people going to judge me? And so the thing about tapping is that it is mind-body, and money is a mind-body issue. It has this nervous system component to it, which I don't think we're talking about enough, Yeah. And so in that state of resistance, there's a thought, and there's the way we might voice it, and then there's like what's happening in our body. People are usually like, I'm sitting here and I want to throw up because you just told me that I have to raise my prices. Or we're frozen with anxiety. And a tool like tapping can really turn that off so quickly that it's like, when your nervous system's calm, and this is where it's cool, and I talked about this in the article that was a little bit crazy, and I sort of brought it in to ground it in clinical proof, is that tapping is clinically proven to turn off the nervous system. It takes those thoughts that say, what if I'm not good enough, or the self-doubt that we have that stops us from making big steps, and it turns off the fight or flight that goes with it. And it's amazing how quickly people like get in the allowing state and able to use the law of allowing, because they now don't feel that inner resistance to it, So, it's so awesome because we come from these different backgrounds. I have an engineer background, so I'm always like, what can I do that's like clinically proven and that's got this little tool that is measurable? And I love dealing with the nervous system. And then the perfect complement to something like tapping is sort of the bigger thinking and the visualization and what's possible with law of attraction, which is why it's a tool, it's one tool, right. And it's complementary in all of the things that you're doing. But it's mostly used for the dark stuff. It's like the crappy tool, and I'm the bringer of the darkness. I like to bring light to the darkness. It's like, where is the stuff in you that is so negative? And just for a few minutes, we're going to focus on that. And then you go back to all of your amazing law of attraction work and affirmations, and they're just supercharged,
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I like to get to the dark stuff.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying too, because it's like we know when the dark stuff is there, like if the negative emotions that come up, it's there, and positive thinking and doing affirmations and all that kind of stuff, it's another tool. But if you're literally having just a visceral, full body experience of anxiety and fear about your future, about paying the bills, or depressed because you can't create what you want, or your life hasn't turned out the way you thought it would be or wanted it to be, this is a really great tool because it's in the moment, it shifts it, like you said, it calms down the whole entire nervous system. It literally helps you get out of that place of being overcome with the fear and the anxiety to realize that it's just energy and it's just emotions, and it helps you process so that you can get on the other side of it and then can return back to that aligned place.
Yeah, it's so, and what I love about it is that you experience it so quickly. So people are like, "What is it?" And then I'm like, "Just try it." Because when they do, they have such a shift so quickly, and you can really, it's very self-evident because it is our nervous system and it is tuned up. And so one of the funny things about the book Tapping into Wealth is that I've had a couple people, like my own brother, read the book and not do the tapping, right? And so here you have a book that's about tapping, and it's about tapping for money and wealth. And so what am I doing? I'm outlining chapter after chapter after chapter what I've learned from thousands of people, the biggest blocks and sticking points around money, the biggest negative emotions. And so if you read it, he was like, every chapter I felt worse. And I'm like, that's because you didn't do the tapping. It's going to really, it's looking to trigger and bind some of that energy, bring it up in you. And then, of course, the book is full of tapping scripts, and there's videos with every chapter where you can go watch me on video, give more exercises. And so the one thing I say to people is like, don't read the book if you're not going to do the tapping, And there was, on Amazon, I think I've got well over 150 or something, 5-star reviews. And there's one star review where the person's like, I felt terrible after reading it. It brought up all my worst stuff. And it's like, that is the point. Yeah. And sometimes it's a hard leap when people are used to only doing affirmations to kind of go and clear some of the dark stuff. But overwhelmingly, that's the report, is that when you get to every chapter is a transformation. And that's what I love to bring is that transformation.
Yes.
And, the dark stuff is good. It's good. You got to have courage to look at it. But if you can, you're on your way to a breakthrough, and that's where having the guide, letting somebody lead you there is really, really helpful. So, please don't read the book without doing the
tap. It's important. And I told you, because you had given me the galley before it actually came out, when it came out on hardback. And what I tell you, I was like, this book is brilliant. It's brilliant because it's, you get that it's like the book in and of itself is helpful, and then you give the extended help and support through the videos, and in really helping people get that at a really deep level, and have to help them apply it so that they're not in that place of like, oh my God, this book made me feel like crap. You know what I mean? It's like, right. It's like, but here's the thing to get you out of it. If reading this chapter, for example, is creating some kind of emotional like upheaval within you, means you have that issue, and now you have the tool to release it. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I want to say to people, like just out of curiosity, you might want to get it just to see what it's going to stir up in you, and to see where your blocks are, because it's not about, for some people they're struggling to create money or wealth, particularly when they're self-employed. That's when your stuff really shows up, and those are the people who typically say to me, I kind of know it's me, Margaret. Like, I know I have money stuff. And then there's people who are where they want to be. I was in corporate America for a long time, and I had a great income, but I wanted something more, something different.
Yes.
And it wasn't just the money; it was the vision and the dream of living a different life, of having a life of more balance, of doing what I wanted, making a big difference. And I had not only blocks to making the money there, but just that it was okay for me to do that. Like, who was I, Christy Whitman, to dream that big and to think that I could change and impact thousands of people? Talk about having like my nervous system come up and be like, who do you think you are? And it would have shut me down if I didn't have this tool. So it kind of like it goes into other aspects of our life and our big dreams and our visions. And but I think it's money is so, there's nothing bigger than money that triggers us emotionally. It triggers the most amount of emotion in people. It's crazy. And nobody's talking about it.
And on the flip side, when you get past it, because I always came from family that was always worried about money. There was never enough, no matter how much they had and the life that they had, it still was never enough. There was always worry, fear, anxiety around it. Even if they had it in the moment, they were fearing about like they were going to lose it. So that was like the energy and the mindset that I was seeped in. And then when I came into like, needing to make money and have money and being on my own and having credit cards and all that kind of stuff, I had such dysfunction with money, and it was the same feeling. I always had the same feeling that I picked up in my family space. the anxiety, the fear of, oh my God, I'm going to lose it if I have it, all that. And really shifting my own relationship with money on the other side. People say money can't bring you happiness, but I'll tell you, when you have it, there's such a security that a lot of the little feelings that you have about the fears and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't exist.
Right.
There's such a freedom on the other end of it. So for me, it's so worth investing the time in your relationship with money. And that's why I love your book, because it's like you're like, boop, boop, boop. These are the triggers. And if you're triggered by them, then you can get past them so that you can be more in a loving, appreciative, grateful space in the relationship with money. And then you actually attract that into your reality.
Yeah, I mean, we've sort of agreed on planet Earth that money is survival. Like, that's our currency of, at the first level, can I survive? Which is money, is the anxiety and the worry. And at the second level up from that, like once you're surviving and secure, and this is probably the progression that you've gone through, it's like, okay, now I'm not in survival mode and panic regardless, because people, like you said, doesn't matter how much money you have, you can be in panic all the time about it.
Exactly.
The next level is, how much do I get to enjoy? Like, what does it mean to enjoy life? And money is like a metaphor for how much am I allowed to enjoy life? And both of those are triggering in different ways. But yeah, the book is sort of like a guide, because when we talk about, oh my God, I have blocks to money, it's like, well, what are they? And I tried to do my best after working with thousands of people over the years to put in every single thing that I saw in there. And there's lots of stories in there of people of clients and stuff. I've changed the names and the situations, but to sort of relate to, and people have found that sort of helpful too. So it is definitely, like, it's my mission to change the conversation on this planet about money and the mind-body-money connection. Because you know who it affects? It affects us. It affects the middle class. It affects people who are raised in the middle class, who had parents who are working class or middle class. And we're good people who come from middle class. We are salt of the earth people. And we do not deserve to have like our money limited and live in fear because of our programming and our wiring. That just pisses me off. Can I say it pisses me off on this TV show?
You could ever say whatever the F you want. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it really annoys me. And it's like, that's my mission, So, so the book's coming out December 26th. You can see it on the page. We'll give you the link. And actually, if you go to that link, the first thing that you'll be able to opt in and get a video of me teaching the 5 kinds of money and the emotional and belief connections program to each one. And I find people are writing me that they are furiously taking notes on that video until they realize they can rewind it and listen to it again. But that video will give you such an education and a starting point. And of course, you can get the book through that page too, through Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or wherever. Of course, it's in all the bookstores too.
Awesome, Margaret, you're amazing. And one thing I want to say too is that when you heal your relationship with money and you feel that you do have enough and you get to enjoy your life, then what comes next is like you just want to give. And it's the people that have the money that are making a huge difference in other people's lives, in other countries, in the United States, that can give generously. And, I remember hearing Oprah years ago, and I didn't believe her at the time because I didn't have fancy, cute shoes. But I remember her saying, how many shoes can you actually have? And I got to the point where it was like, ooh, I get to buy the shoes. And then I got the shoes, and it was like, okay, but that is also only a certain amount of fulfillment. And now I'm just so grateful that I have what I have so that I can continue to give back and be a bigger influence in the world. So it's like the relationship we have with money continues to create and expand, how we understand ourselves, the spirit, energy, all of it. So
yeah, you get to live at your fullest expression. If you're in survival mode, you're not at your fullest expression of joy, of love, never mind of of giving, of generosity, and so Absolutely. Money, again, it's like, say about it what you will, but on this planet Earth, we have agreed that it's the currency. And when you expand in your wealth, you can live at the full expression of your generosity, which I know you are doing. I am not. I am very selfish. I am hoarding all my money.
I know that is so not true.
That's what I'm doing. I'm making big piles, and I won't let anyone have it. Yeah, I mean, said from the woman who's got like, thousands of videos out there, free videos. I do love to give, and I love to be around people who give like yourself. So thank you for letting me share my book with people today. Absolutely. And when you get the book, I will give you all sorts of videos with it too. So I try to keep giving.
Awesome. Yes, Margaret, you're amazing. So family, go ahead and leave us a comment. I'm sure Margaret will give us, any comment that you have. She'll get in the conversation as well. And so any questions that you may have, but go below the video, get the link that allows you to get the free video that she was talking about. It also will send you to the page if you want to purchase the book, or you just get to know Margaret better. She's amazing. Phenomenal what you do, Margaret. So thank you for helping change that money conversation so that people can feel so much more at peace and in a space of freedom. So I love you, sister.
Thank you so much. Virtual high five.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm excited to announce the release of the Quantum Success Online Magazine, an additional resource for you to receive more information and inspiration to help you create all that you desire. It's available on Amazon and iTunes newsstands now.